Okay, after sleeping on it, I realized I'm an idiot. I know what the problem is now. I know how to fix it. I'm Matt. Welcome back to Procrastination Garage. This video is part 2 of our trip to the cabin. This picks up Wednesday morning. You may remember on our last trip in January, there were several trees down across the driveway, and I had to cut them out of the way to drive in. So I left them in about 9-foot lengths or better. And my thought was that maybe I'd get my act together, get my chainsaw mill set up, and give it a try. And there it is, my chainsaw mill. Okay, so this box here, see, it looks like that. It's kind of a takeoff on a Granberg, I think it's the brand name, mill. And of course this is a cheap Chinese knockoff of it. So you assemble this, and you can see it comes in a small box, and that's what it looks like. So there's quite a bit of assembly required, and then you clamp your chainsaw into it. But then on top of that, you need something for a guide to make your first cut on the lumber, and that's what this is here. It needs to be assembled. I think I got a 12-foot version, maybe even 16-foot, but I think it's 12-foot. So that'll need to be assembled too. So let's get started on that. Well, there you go, a bunch of pieces. Looks to be well packaged, or well packaged enough. I'm going to go ahead and start assembling it, and I'll show you as I go along. Step 1 is complete. So the tip of the chainsaw comes through here. This is a guard around the outer edge so you don't cut your fingers off or something. And then when the bar comes through here, then you tighten it down with these bolts. So this was assembly number 1. Now we'll move on to the next. I think I've got another assembly complete. So what I don't like, and I think I ended up reversing this one, you see the graduations on here? It seems to me those should have been against this cast piece of aluminum here, because it would be a nice tight fit. But on this end it doesn't work based on what the drawing shows, or the pictures show. So that means the graduations are actually up against this piece here. Well, this piece here can move around a lot more, although when it's tightened up it's probably relatively good. So since that's the way this one was, no, wait a minute, this is the one I had to change. When I set this one up based on the picture, it had the graduations up against this little piece here. So I changed that one there to match. Again, I don't like it. I think it should line up against this piece over here, but it doesn't. Anyway, so this piece is complete. I think this piece is complete. So now I'm working on these two pieces, which actually slide along the log. So there's one handle that goes here. You've got these little bolts here, and what they do, they slide in the end here, and then that'll go through there, and that bolt there slid into this piece here. And then you got some nylon lock nuts there, so we'll tighten that all down. And then I think we're getting close to assembly. This round rod here goes through this hole and this hole, clamped, I guess, with a bolt there. I don't know. I'll show you when I get it figured out. What do you think? Okay, I think that's the assembly right there. So now we need to stick the chainsaw in. It goes in from this end, and I can't adjust most of these pieces here until I get the chainsaw in there, because this is made for various lengths of chainsaw, and I'm going to be putting an 18-inch chainsaw in it. So let's grab it, the DeWalt electric, and see what it looks like. I think we're ready for a test. It took a lot more fiddling than I thought, and it's very small, but it's only an 18-inch bar. This probably will work better with my 24-inch saw. Anyway, of course, we haven't been playing with a battery in it because we didn't want to get hurt. Slip the battery in. Then we got the safety off. So yeah, it looks like it's going to work. Alright, moving on to part 2. Look at that mess of pieces. Okay, lots of nuts and bolts. Not sure what these little brackets are for. Cross pieces, bars, and a picture, instructions. Let me get started. Oh, I'm about 20 minutes in, and this is what I've accomplished. These dog legs here, they go down and secure themselves into the tree, and then these are the cross pieces that go across between those. You can see basically I've done this assembly here. So next step is to mount these to these bars here, and I'll show you when I get there. There you go. Two sections, both of those are 6 foot in length. They can be connected together. They disconnect fairly easily. 3 foot sections. Got these little thumb screws right here. You just undo those, remove them. So you set this on the log. This is the part that goes against the log. You pound these dogs into the log to help secure it, and then you level it using these little things here. We're going to see if we can figure this out right now. Hey guys, sorry for the break. Do me a favor, hit the like button or the dislike button. Leave me a comment down below, and subscribe. And tell all your friends. Thank you. So I've got this log sitting up on a pair of sawhorses. So you got to be careful, since I don't have my tractor here. I want as big a log as I can get, but it has to be one that I could lift. Now granted, I could do this down at ground level, and I've got a log up there that maybe I will get to and do that on a log level, but for my first one I'd like to be up at a little better height. So anyway, like I said, log is up here. Got a couple of 2x things keeping it from rolling back and forth. So I'm not level the length of the log, nor do I need to be. I just need to be level when I put the metal guide on there. I need to be level side to side. So that'll be my next thing I do. First I'm going to get my reciprocating saw, knock off these little nubs here so it sits a little better. I will show you when I get the guide sitting on here. Probably won't be leveled, but at least sitting on here. I've been fooling around with the thing for more than 30 minutes, probably close to 45. I think I've finally got it though. So I've got, that's 12 feet of length there. I thought I cut that log off around 9 feet. Guess I cut it closer to 11. Better too much than too little. So I had to level it this way. I just eyeballed that. That's not as critical. And then I had to level it this way, which is critical. It has to match all the way. And you can see, well, she's not level at the moment. I'll double check it before I start cutting. But we're pretty close. I had it level, and I'll double check. Anyway, I guess I'm ready to make a saw cut. Now, what I didn't bring with me are any wedges. And I need wedges because when you get to down the length of the log a little bit, it'll want to pinch on the blade. So we'll take a pretty shallow cut. Hopefully it won't be a problem. I guess if it is, we'll figure something out. So maybe I'll get the tripod set up and we'll do a trial cut. Okay, look at that. That is not half bad. So what do we learn from that? Well, first of all, using a 60 volt electric chainsaw, probably not the answer. It'll go through batteries too quickly. The other issue is the chain. I've not sharpened that chain, so it's a little on the dull side. Also, if I'm going to be doing this, I need to have dedicated chains. I think they've got special milling chains that I think have fewer teeth on them, so I'll need to use that. So that 60 volt chainsaw actually weighs about the same as my 24-inch Husqvarna, which will do a much better job at this. So that's probably what we'll be using that for. But look at that. I mean, as far as the quality of the cut, okay, I mean, you got a lot of chainsaw marks, but that's to be expected from chainsaw milling. And, you know, you could plane it if you wanted to, but I think it looks kind of cool. But look at the quality there as far as the straightness and the levelness. For my first attempt, that is just fine. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. Yeah, sorry, out of focus a little bit there. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Now, what am I going to do? Am I going to do any more milling this weekend or this trip? I don't know. That was a lot of work. Maybe if I sharpen that chainsaw. I mean, what would I do with this? You know, my thought is, I mean, I could mill it down into smaller pieces, or I could go with one big post. You know, I could do like almost a 6x6 post, probably pretty close to a 5x5 post. What would I do with it? I don't know. But anyway, I'm pretty excited about that. So other things we've learned. I need some 45-degree angles cut here to wedge that better. I need my wedges, which are plastic, no big deal. I've got those at home. Plus I may buy some more. So these sawhorses, not ideal because I've got to work around them. Also, I don't think, something's not right with the way I've got this assembled. And I don't think it's me necessarily. See those guides right there that are supposed to run along the log? The way the chainsaw pulls, seems to me those should be over there. But that's not the way it's set up. So, you know, these things are made in China. Did they assemble it wrong? Am I expecting too much? What can I do to fix it? Can I reverse it and use those? No, not really. I don't know. I'll have to give that some thought. But overall, for what I paid for everything, I think this is a win. So, hope you guys think the same. Although, you know what? At the end of the day, I guess it doesn't matter. As long as I like it. But again, it's a lot of work. I mean, I use muscles I didn't know I had pushing through that. So a person that comes out and does this every day, there's a guy on YouTube, Surviving Ringworm. Check him out. He builds stuff out in the forest on his, I don't know, 10 acres of property, whatever he's got. Upper Michigan. He's done everything with a chainsaw mill. That is a lot of work. All right, let's move on. It's Thursday, around 2 p.m. Yesterday I came out here with my little reciprocating saw and I cut a few branches down lower. Just half-hearted effort. This morning I came down with a chainsaw, cut a couple of small trees down. Again, just a half-hearted effort. Anyway, I was pulling some of the branches back up the hill towards my burn pile, and I found something really interesting. I trimmed branches off that tree there. I was starting to trim that one there, and my reciprocating saw battery died. And I had gone ahead and done the branches on this one. So today, as I was pulling branches up, I was going to pull these branches up. So look in there, what do you see? Eggs. Those eggs were laid sometime between yesterday evening and now. And I believe they're turkey eggs. And the reason I say that is because I started walking down this way this morning, or a little while ago, which is afternoon. I saw a turkey walking off that direction. And I didn't think much of it, but I bet you that's mama. So what I've done is I've taken branches that I cut from other trees and I put them all around here to make a better hiding spot. It was somewhat isolated, but it's much better now. So I'm going to leave this area alone. Hopefully mama will come back and hatch out her little babies. I'm not sure we'll ever know since I probably won't be up here, but let's hope. I don't know how long she can leave them and then come back, or if she'll even come back, but we've done our best. Still Thursday afternoon. Okay, after sleeping on it, I realized I'm an idiot. I know what the problem is now. I know how to fix it. So in fact, this and this are reversed. And the issue is this thing here just needs to be moved over to that one. And how come I didn't figure that out and catch it yesterday, I don't know, but I'll take care of it. I fixed my idiot mistake. Now the guides are where they're supposed to be. And what this also does, which is maybe even more important, is it puts the measuring marks against this piece here, which doesn't move, which is where I thought it should have been all along. So I also sharpened the chain, made an attempt, and best I could tell, it's the first time that chain's been sharpened. Got a new battery in it. We're going to try and make another cut. This cut will probably be harder than the one yesterday, in that we're wider across here, so that's going to be an issue. But we'll go ahead and see if we can make a pass and see what happens. One board cut. Yeah, man, that's a lot of work with that saw. So what can I say? Well, it's about 1 inch thick. I use the measurements off the tool, off the chainsaw guide there, and I'll have to measure it, but it looks to be pretty close. I think I'm pretty consistent. I mean, honestly, I could use that for something. I don't know what. This is not a quality piece of wood, but you know what? When it dries, it's got some issues. But hey, kind of cool. I mean, we're just testing this thing. What we know for sure is the electric chainsaw is not the answer. I didn't really think it was. I thought it might be cool if it was, but it takes more than one battery to get through one board. I don't know if it's if the chain is just not sharp enough, which could be, because I'm not a great chainsaw chain sharpener, or if it just doesn't have enough speed. The fact that it's an 18-inch bar kind of works against me. If I had my 24-inch saw, the fact that it has more teeth, that means they would be working less hard, I do believe, and so the sharpness would last longer. So next time we try this, which will be at home, we've got wood at home, we'll go ahead and we'll put the other saw in there. But for proof of concept, overall I'm pretty happy with this. But you know what? It makes me want a bandsaw mill that much worse. So my wife, she kind of gave me permission to buy one here over a year ago. I might have to just do that and get one, because you know, this log here, the diameter of it's not really that big, and chainsaw milling is going to be a lot of work, and a bandsaw mill would whip through a lot quicker. So anyway, this is all we're doing on this trip. I'm going to just toss this off to the side, and not sure if we'll come back to it next time we come up or not. That piece will probably turn into firewood. I don't know. Like I said, proof of concept, it worked. It's Friday morning, a little after 8 a.m. and on my way out. I'm a little earlier than I normally would be. I've got a new neighbor. I've talked about him in a previous video. Has property below me, and he had told me next time I came up to let him know. So I'd sent him a text a couple days ago letting him know I was here through Friday morning. Well, I got a text from him yesterday saying, hey, I'll be up there at 8:30. Swing by if you can. And So that was my plan. So I had everything all ready to go, and I was going to walk down there at 8:30. Unfortunately, I got a text from him a little bit ago saying, I'm running an hour late. I won't be there till 9:30. Well, I really wanted to be on the road by 9 o'clock. So even meeting him at 8:30 was going to be cutting it close. So I sent a message back and said, sorry, catch you next time. And so that meant I can go ahead and leave now, which got me out of here a little early. So we're going to do some hot wheel hunting on the way home. Going to go home through Pendleton and Hermiston, Oregon. Had a good trip. Got a little bit of stuff done up here. Main thing was checking out the chainsaw mill. You saw that. And did some other things. Got the refrigerator up and running a little bit. Although the problem with that refrigerator, running it on 120 volts, between the refrigerator and the inverter for the 12 volt signal, that thing just sucks electricity. And if I plug it into my Jackery, Jackery will only last about 4 hours. And then if I turn on the TV set, you can probably knock another hour off of that. So I got to get the gas portion of the refrigerator working, which is just hooking up the gas line, I believe. So that's my project, is to gather parts I need, and next time I come up, hopefully we'll get that up and running. And then the question is going to be, that inverter is still drawing power. And I should have checked to see how much power it actually was drawing on this trip. We may need another solution for that, which I wouldn't mind finding another solution anyway. I just need a 12 volt power source with low electricity draw. So we'll figure that out, but let's get the gas hooked up first. So that's it, hitting the road. Beautiful weather day. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, yesterday was a cold day. A little bit of a breeze, but the temperature never came up, and it was a cold morning this morning too. So that's it. See ya. It's a beautiful Sunday. In fact, it's Father's Day. I don't know, probably 70 degrees or better. Just coming up on noontime. So what are we working on today? We're going to spend a few minutes in the pump house troubleshooting a refrigerator. So there's the offending appliance over there in the corner. So when I remodeled this pump house, I found this cute little electric refrigerator, little nostalgia electric, and I just kind of like the style of it. I put in here, and it was humming along just fine for years and years. I came in here one day, and everything in the freezer section was not frozen, and our notice refrigerator section wasn't working either. So it had quit working, but still had power, light was on, so I knew something was going on. So I had been thinking about bringing one of the little mini fridges up from the shop that's not being used. And I thought, well, before we trash this one, is there any way to fix it? So I went on YouTube and watched a video, and you know what kind of trouble that gets you into. What I learned was that 9 times out of 10, the problem is with a little relay that's right behind this cover here. So we're going to go ahead and pull that relay off, figure out what it is, see about ordering a new one. My understanding is they're only like 10-15 bucks. And if we can do that, we'll go ahead and order it, just guessing that's it, and see what happens. To improve the working angle here, I got a little 4x4 piece of wood, propped it up. First thing we got to do, that metal clip there, focus, need to get that loose, and then there's a plastic cover that'll come off. So let me find a screwdriver and pry that clip off. The little cover's removed. The clip, of course, is a pain. It grabs into the little metal piece right there on both sides. That was kind of tough. Anyway, now that we've got at it, the relay is right back there behind it. I'll just show you when I pull it out. I've disconnected the relay from the little, I guess it's a compressor right there. So what I'm going to need to do now is disconnect these two wires. Now my understanding is this piece here, whatever it is, isn't the piece that goes bad. It's this one here. So we'll probably just concentrate on removing that piece. That's the piece we're going to order. Alright, it's like I'm new at this YouTube stuff. So it's a new day. It is now Monday. And I had done another video after I'd removed this piece yesterday. And the problem is I did it in the wrong format. I had the camera standing up. And when I went back reviewing it, I saw that. I'm like, ah, crap. So anyway, we are now Monday. And look what came in the mail today. It wasn't supposed to be here until tomorrow. So we got the new part already. So I'll go ahead and plug it in, put it back in there, and let's see if the thing works. I guess a little more information when I pulled this out. So it was a bit of a challenge getting the wiring unhooked from this piece, but I did. And then once I got it, I don't know if you can see, we're not focusing real well right there. See, there's the part number. I tried to match up the part number on Amazon and didn't come up with anything. But when I just typed in mini fridge resistor, it pops. Several of them popped up, and then I found one that looked just like this. And then that 4.7, that's a 4.7 ohm, and that was important in matching it up. So anyway, I just found one that looked just like this. It was a little over $7 delivered, and like I said, here it is. That was quick. So let me go ahead and get it swapped. It did come with both pieces, so I will go ahead and swap that other piece too, because I've got it. Why not? There you go. The two pieces are back in there. The smaller piece had to go in first, and it fits on one pin, and then the other piece goes on, and it fits on two. Let me show you the old one. Where is it here? Yeah. Trying to look through my lens and figure it out. Okay, right there. That slides over one pin. And then this one here, those two pieces slide over two bottom pins. So they all go together, but they're not connected. I mean, these two pieces aren't connected together. Anyway, next would be to put the cap and the metal spring clip on. We're not going to do that, certainly right now, because we want to see if it works. Maybe we'll get back to it. There's really no reason to even put it back on there. In fact, I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm just gonna tuck the pieces back in there, call it good. All right, next step, turn it on. Do you hear that? As soon as I plugged it in, it started making noise. I think we're okay. I think that fixed it. I'm gonna go ahead and spin it back around. We'll come back out in an hour or so and see if the stuff is freezing up. Well, I could lie to you and tell you it's an hour later and I'm coming out to check the freezer section. It's actually 2 weeks later. I did come out and check it, I just didn't do the video. But anyway, just so you guys know, can you see the frost on the side there? And can you... Yep, everything's frozen, good to go. And like I said, it's been running for about 2 weeks now, so I think we've solved the problem. All right, we've reached the end of another episode of Procrastination Garage. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. So on chainsaw milling, I've not used the mill since I did this video of these video clips. Headed back to the cabin here in a couple days, and I'm taking my big gas saw and I've got some ripping chains, so probably try some more milling again up there, and I'll video it if I do. Do me a favor, leave me a comment down below. Tell me about things you're working on or the things you're procrastinating about. I know you're procrastinating on something. New video should be coming out within a week, 2 weeks max. I've got the content, just need to do some editing. Remember, my name is Matt. This is Procrastination Garage, and thanks for watching.